This conference will now be recorded.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I'm getting my, I guess so. That was in the spirit of former Mayor Pat Cox banging hard on the mallet. My name is Mayor Ann Velisis, and I am calling to order this meeting of the regular session of the Port Orford Common Council. It's on Thursday, July 17th at 5:31. We'll start with a roll call. Councillor Brennan. Here. Councillor Rask.
Here.
Councillor Burns.
Here.
Councillor Lovendall.
Here.
Councillor Webb.
Web present.
Councillor Pogwizd.
Jim here.
Okay. Please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. We do have a relatively short meeting tonight, but we have some things that I would like to add to the agenda and maybe a couple of adjustments that we're going to have to make otherwise. In the time since I put this out, we've got a couple of issues that have come to our attention about the pending closure of our ODOT station and also our Port Orford OSU field station. And so I've drafted some letters that I could send on behalf of council. I've shared them with you. I know it's last minute, but I'm hoping maybe we can just discuss those issues at some point tonight. So I propose that we add those to new business C. If that's okay with everyone? And then I'll just highlight, is that okay with everyone? Can we just do that by consensus without vote? Also, we have this massive package of minutes. And I'm just going to say we can get to it when we discuss the consent calendar, but we may decide to either delay them or change how we're going to do them this time. But we can discuss that when we get there. Does anybody else have any other additions to the agenda? No. Okay. Well, then let's move on to citizen concerns. Does anybody have any comments they would like to make at this time? Anybody online have citizen concerns?
Any comments or any raised hands online?
Okay. Yes. Well, I think you were going to want to do it later.
Is he going to give us a presentation or something? So
no. So, okay, hearing no comments now, we will move on to the consent calendar. And so I want to, before we proceed with this, I want to explain the circumstance that we have. We have this big chunk of minutes that were not completed until very late. So I don't think anybody really had a chance to spend time on them. Joseph has been out sick for I don't know how many days, so he was scrambling to get them done for us. But there were a number of, like minor errors kind of thing. He and I have gone through a number of them. And so I think we have a couple of different options on how we can proceed with this. It's a little bit non-standard. We could take time this evening to have him go through his corrections. We can add corrections and try to get this done at this meeting. It's important that we get these done because Dina needs to complete them for the audit. So we could try to get them done in that way tonight, or we can schedule a special meeting to do them like next week sometime and give everybody more time, give Joseph time to clean them up and give everybody time to look at them. Those are basically the two options we can do. I know we don't like to do them at the last minute. There's one other piece of information that Joseph and I just figured out, which is we do have another package of minutes that are not here that Dina is going to need to finish the meeting, which is we had a special meeting, I think it was on the 23rd of June, which was the second reading of the budget. So we're going to have to approve that too. And so we may have to, if she really needs that ASAP, we may have to call a special session to just approve those budget minutes anyway. So there's our dilemma. So how would you guys like to handle it? Yes, Sarah?
We're going to have a special session anyway for those minutes, particular minutes for, we might as well just do it all at one time next week.
And that gives us time to
Agreed.
really go through it.
Yep.
Does everybody feel good about doing that?
And I could point out one right away. I see Greg Tidy on here.
Holy smokes, yeah.
So
Mhm.
Greg Tidy is on all four of them, it looks like. So anyway.
So yeah, there's some significant errors. So,
Clean that up a little bit.
so why don't we do that, Joseph?
Yeah, good catch.
I was just thinking, gosh, these aren't minutes from
This year,
6 months ago.
what happened?
I did check the date, but I can't blame him for trying. I mean.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I appreciate, Joseph, that you really did try to scramble to get these done. But yeah, the fact that they were late and rushed, it's,
This is really critical stuff for us too. This is our record, so we want it to be perfect.
we want it to be good. So could we tentatively plan to do a makeup meeting? I know I can't do it next Thursday, but I could do it in 2 Thursdays, or if the rest of you want to do it next Thursday without me.
Are we married to Thursdays?
No, it's just a date that we try to do because
Right.
we know the council session or
No,
the
and I
chambers is
appreciate
open.
that regularity.
We could also, I don't know, when do you think you could get it done, Joseph? Or when
Well,
he's still kind of on the,
Don't pinch yourself. I mean, if
Yeah.
it's not time critical, don't,
I
give
mean,
yourself the time.
If it's sometime next week, then
yeah,
we're
I
good.
should be able to get them done next week. It's just a matter of when the council decides they want to address it.
because then there
I'll
needs,
determine how high of a priority it is for me to.
When does
get
Dina need it?
done.
I think she needs it. She's trying to wrap up the audit and this is one of the pieces. So, she needs it as soon as possible. But the other thing is Joseph needs to do it. Notice has to go out. There's all these steps. So part of why, as we all know, government goes slow.
Make it next Friday.
And Dina works Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it would have to be following week.
Yeah.
In my mind, because that would
Well-
give him very little time to finish it.
Yeah. And sometimes she doesn't work. Sometimes she works.
Is there anything else that we could throw in that we need to get done that's on fire? I mean, I know we want to stack it up, but well, I mean, if we're gonna have 2 weeks to go through the minutes, we ought to.
Well, 1 week.
Yes, we might
well,
be.
This here's rough, but we get I mean, it's better than, it's not quite nothing. But is there anything that needs else to be done that?
You were inferring, Sarah, that something was coming up? that we'd need a special meeting
Seems
for?
Like something's.
There are always things that come
Oh,
up.
yeah, sure.
And, honestly, there are other things we could add to a discussion if we wanted to, or we could have it as like a work session or we can just schedule it and
There was something that was telling me that there had something had to be done, but
if something comes up before the notice, we can always add it. So why don't we do it? Can we do it 2 Thursdays from now?
31st.
Yeah, the 31st should be fine.
Okay.
There shouldn't be
First.
anything scheduled in the chambers for then. It's very rare to have a 5th Thursday in the month, so
Yeah.
there shouldn't be anything going on.
We can schedule it for then. We'll tell
Your life-
Dina that's what we're doing. And if somehow she really desperately needs it before then, I think as long as she knows that they're all going to be in order, she's going to get it. That will, I think, probably
She could check it off her list.
5:30? 5:30?
Yep. same
Well,
time.
if not, you can get a hold
Contact
of
you
all
all.
of us and change it,
Yeah.
to an earlier date. So.
Okay, sound good? So we will then not be taking any action on the
so we're
consent
going
calendar.
to not, yeah.
Okay. No action.
Okay. July 31.
No action.
Okay, so
We
then,
need to be a special session so we can make a decision.
yes, right. Thank you. Yep. Okay. Continuing on then to departmental reports. I did not mention when we were doing our roll call, but Administrator Radcliffe is not here tonight because she is taking a well-earned vacation. And so she has given her written report to us. In it, she wanted me to highlight that there is a group, and I think Councillor Burns, you're involved in this, is a group of city staff and volunteers that's going to get organized to go and work on cleaning out the gorse in the area near Rays, north of Rays, the Rays Woods as it's called. And so that's going to be happening towards the end of the month of August, actually.
I think it's August 13th.
Is that the
I
date you
spoke
have?
with Toby Porter
Okay.
yesterday. And I think Aaron Munster wants us to cut the gorse and the Scotch broom and just let it lay.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
And then they're coming back in to spray it in the spring
Hmm.
with
The
herbicides.
sprouts.
So unless I misunderstood her, that's,
Yeah, I don't know. I can clarify that. I would think that part of the idea is to kind of clean the area up also, you know.
I'm just telling you
I
what she
think
told
there's
me.
an issue in moving the
Well,
Scotch broom
When
around.
it's
Yeah, 'cause then
seeding, you
Seeding.
certainly don't
Oh,
want
got it. Yeah. Well, we could probably put it at the edge or something.
flowery.
Okay. So that's that. And yeah. So, and then moving on from that, I have my mayor's report. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And I wanted to provide some new information I just got yesterday. And it was really interesting because I was talking with a citizen about our lost brick grant and saying, darn it, I just can't believe nobody else seems to be as upset about that as I am, you know, because nothing's happened. Well, I literally got contacted that afternoon by the Attorney General's office saying that the Oregon Attorney General has joined a lawsuit against the administration for cutting that FEMA disaster mitigation funding program. So it's 20 states, and they're basically trying to say that that program was terminated illegally. Our city is not named in it. It's the big, and it may not help us ultimately.
It's those that were granted the money. My understanding is that if you were granted the money, then they pulled it back. That's who's.
They will be probably the ones who are they're the ones that are on the lead of this. And the cities mentioned in that in this case are Grants Pass, Medford, and Clatsop County. But I was told that, you know, who knows what's going to happen. Basically, that's that. So that's interesting. Anything else? Any other questions about the various things? Plugging along on various things. Okay. And let's see, moving on to, I don't think we have any finance report. So how about Public Works? John?
Not anything really new. What's on there is on there. We're still working on the dredging portions and pieces of the dredging for Hubbard's. I did have a good conversation with Scott today. Scott today, water master. And so he'll be down Wednesday and Thursday probably. And we'll get together. He's got a couple ideas. He said not to worry about the small variance on the meter. It's close enough. And he would assume that we don't have a loss between Hubbard's and the intake or the plant. So that was good news. And we're working with OHA. They were supposed to be down this week. They haven't made it. So might have gotten rescheduled. I haven't heard from them yet, but working on a filter evaluation to figure out what's going on with the filters and the media and the backwash bubblers to find out if we're going to have to do a significant rebuild on the plant.
So that didn't happen, that guy didn't come down, darn it. Okay.
Something got rescheduled, something happened,
Okay.
they had to go somewhere else. So currently, last month, you'll see in the consumption report, we sold about 500,000 gallons more, but we also used about 500,000 gallons of backwash
because of the frequency on the backwash cycles of the filters right now. So that's about 1 million gallons of, well, 500,000 gallons lost, 500,000 gallons sold. So we went from selling 2.1 to 2.5 and change, which is significant. We're not making anything during the daytimes. We're still we're at about 16.5 feet right now in the plant. And we've kind of maintained that for over a week now. We just can't catch up. So that's
Shoot
where
for
we're
20,
at.
John, is that right?
What's that?
We shoot for 20? Is that what it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 20 is a good safety nectar in case you have a fire or something like that, catastrophic main break, something like that. But we're just not catching up. We're running 12 hours, 13 hours a day. And it's just a lot of usage. So we're doing what we can. We're all kind of getting tired, but we'll keep going. And hopefully we'll find something with the backwash is killing us right now.
That's what's killing us is we're using
That's a lot of it. That's a half.
fifth of
million
our
gallons.
water is
Yeah.
being used for backwash.
Yeah. You know, so it's a lot, but we'll work our way through it and figure it out. That's what we're working on. Coast Guard Hill, I thought was significant. We were able to cut that old rusty generator apart and make it usable for a few more years till we can find a replacement. So we got that done and back online. And we've got some meter bases at some of the lift stations that have to get replaced. So we're in the process of doing Lakeshore right now. And boy, has the price of copper wire went up and boxes and everything else. It's expensive. So we're working through that, and we're getting ready to start the watershed culvert removal project. That'll pretty much take everybody for a couple of weeks, maybe 3. I don't know. We're guessing 2, but it could be 3. The new fire restrictions are high, so there's a lot of tree cutting and brush clearing to be able to get to that culvert.
Up on the.
Yep. Going towards Hubbard's Creek where that failed culvert is.
Yeah.
So we're going to be tied up there for quite some time.
And that's just going to be pulled.
Well, we're gonna pull the 300 foot of, or 280 feet, I think it is, of the plastic 24-inch out and probably put it in the yard for reuse somewhere at some point. The big one's gonna get done by a contractor once we get the road good enough for them to be able to get dump trucks and stuff in. So Aaron Minister's working with the property owners to get access, because that easement, or it's not really an easement, but it runs between 2 pieces of property to get to our property. So they've given us permission to do minimal clearing. And then it's old growth though. I mean, it's big trees and we got some timber to fall. So it's not gonna be a quick, easy project.
And it's a cost savings for our guys to do. Aaron identified it as a cost savings if our guys could go up and do some of that work, because this is something we really have to get done. And she is scrambling to find us the money to do the rest of it. And that's still, we've applied for 2 different grants for that. I mean, she's helped us apply for 2 different grants for that. So
I think if we do the clearing, we should have enough money to get the culvert removed.
Yeah.
It should make it happen by fall and get the banks restored before the winter comes. And then, yeah, so big project, but we're going to continue marching forward and do what we can.
great. Thank you, John.
Yep.
Lots of work.
Yep.
Lots of different pieces. I know, because I have my fingers on some of them, and I know that you've got like all these things going all the time. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anything from planning, Joseph?
Big thing is ERPD, Elk River Property Development, put an extension request to the Planning Commission for a 1-year extension on their conditional use permit. The Planning Commission denied that request, and Elk River Property Development has appealed it. It wasn't in this month's city council meeting because it needs to be formally noticed, and the minutes from the June meeting of the Planning Commission needed to be approved before it could come to city council. So that'll be being addressed in August.
That isn't something that we could do in our special session?
Needs to be noticed between 10, 20, and 40 days before the actual hearing. So basically, I need to get notice out within the next 2 weeks for the August meeting.
Gotcha.
And did the planning commission already approve their minutes now?
They have approved
have
their
now,
minutes.
so-
That's
okay.
why it for sure wasn't happening this month.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Okay, moving on to liaison reports. Parks, Sarah, you put in a good report here.
Yeah, just a couple of things. I want to officially in this meeting acknowledge Sky Vasholi for all the work she did for us in kind. She put a lot of hours to submit the planning grant, and Carol Hackrell assisted her with some of the budget finance aspects of the application. So I just wanted to say that. Also, we were told, I was advised that the Parks Commission had to vote on whether to renew the Park Host contract. It expired on June 30th. And so I don't know if that's something City Council needs to work on, or would that just be an administrative through Melissa?
Well, I talked to Melissa about this, and she said she's working on it. I do think it's something that is a staff thing, but I think you were
Policy would be
thinking,
us. It seems like we would, we want to have a host there, but then
Yeah.
Melissa would be,
yeah, she's the one who implements it. She and John, I believe that's kind of how it works. So, it's a weird thing because it's a volunteer, but it's kind of like a hiring thing. So you don't really, I think you made that decision in executive session. It's
Right.
not like the kind of thing where, or you don't talk about employees, you don't talk about things like that in a public session, just for people, for
Right.
respecting people's privacy and whatever. So anyway, so I think that is the answer, is that that it's on Melissa's desk. So, but I do think there are some strange things in that Parks Commission code, because I went to look at that we may want to look at and clarify, because since I've been on council, not that long, but I gather that it's been the sentiment of council that we want to make sure that the various commissions have an advisory role to council, that they don't go off and make decisions or do things, that they can come and make their recommendations and bring ideas. And there's some stuff in that one that's a little bit different and odd. So we may want to, I don't know the history of it, but we may want to look at it.
Review.
Anything more on that topic?
well, on parks thing, is that what the topic is?
Or just-
commissions in general?
Yeah.
They've been, my understanding of their directions are there to do as we direct them, and they serve our pleasure, but they also are free to pursue their own things and make those recommendations to us.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I ever see weird is when the parks has money coming in and we don't really know. I mean, it doesn't seem like that's real. It should come into the general fund.
And we did make that change.
Did we get that? Okay, all right.
Yeah. But generally speaking, the various commissions don't really, I mean, I guess if there's items that are budgeted for specific things that staff can say this is budgeted for that, we can let you spend it. Usually things would come to council, So it's my thought.
Under their recommendation, yeah.
Yes, Tim.
Well, anything that come from parks was always a recommendation to council, and then council was the ultimate decision maker.
Right.
Now, in this host situation, I think admin does come into play.
Yeah.
But I think most likely it'll be something that admin wants to probably bring to council. May or may not feel comfortable with a decision. So as far as money goes, it was a misconception over the years that parks had all this money. They didn't have all that money. I mean, I was on the Parks Commission early on, and parks got $2,000 a year. That's it. That was their budget. Now, if they didn't spend the 2,000 prior year, it did multiply. I think one year we got up to $6,000 or $8,000. But anyway,
Was
so
that
I
the
think what
TLT money, was that?
no,
considered?
that's what David took out of the general fund and gave to parks. The TLT money was separate, but it wasn't ever at parks purview to use that money on
Oh,
anything.
okay.
Which it's very tightly regulated. So
Right.
Mhm.
It is very tightly regulated. So anyway, I don't know where we stand today and what the budget line item was for parks this year, but
well, anyway, we may want to look at review what that what that code is and just clarify it or clean
Yeah.
it up a bit.
Probably.
So anyway, okay, well, thank you for the report, Sarah.
Yeah.
And we'll,
And there is some discussion about money that was raised from the community for the playground.
That money's different. I think that's what Brett's talking about. That should probably be in a
It should be in
And
a
I think
fund,
it is,
its own line item
line
identified as such.
Right.
right.
but not like the chairman of the Parks Commission can't write a check for it. I mean, in
Right.
Oh, no,
our-
no, no.
our
Understood.
purse, Our wallet,
Yeah.
and we don't touch it. Yeah.
I
And-
agree with you 100%. There's got to be accountability there.
Right.
The city's responsibility is accountability.
And the thing that's so weird about that money, and this is something, is that budgets are intended not like as a bank ledger, they're intended to show what is the money going to be spent on. So it's my understanding that one of the reasons we did leave in this year's budget a line item for the playground is that money is in there. But
For the playground.
for the playground, but anyway, but it's not like a line item like you'd have on your bank account or
Right,
something.
you
And
can't
that's,
write a check
that
on it.
disparity is a little bit tricky to understand. I mean, for everyone.
Yeah.
And if you recall, at one point, council took it out and set it up as a separate account at Rogue. Then when David Johnson came back, he said, no, that's not the way to do it. And so we're still figuring that one out, I would say.
Well, because the Parks Commission is a commission under the city.
Yeah.
Now, if they weren't a commission under the city, I think they could probably do that and set up
Yeah.
a rogue account. But
Yeah.
since we are the ones who are responsible for accountability, it's got to be a line item somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, they're donations from
Yeah.
citizens.
And there is a line item, I believe, for donations.
Yeah, I think we fixed.
But it's also, I think, the part for the playground, I think, is in the playground part, but it's we have to clarify it, Sarah. Okay. Next up, emergency preparation. And we have a whole agenda item on this, but do you want to
speak now or wait for that agenda item? Any updates, Gary?
Yeah.
Wait or speak?
Yeah, I think we can wait and just do all the discussion then.
Okay. Historic preservation, I'm aware that we're keeping on working on that Fort Point sign. And I forget, did we say last time that they finished the Hamlet survey? So that's good.
Had a meeting.
Oh, did he have that public meeting about it?
And,
Yeah, did you go to it?
No, I was working.
Oh, okay.
elsewhere, But one person came
Okay,
and they went through
the report. Yeah,
the report.
I reviewed it. It was kind of
Do
cool.
we have
Yeah.
it? Do we-
It's going to be, I can share it with you, all the final draft. It's supposed to go up on our website. We have a part of our website that's historic, all the historic resources. And I think it's been uploaded there already.
Yeah.
Do you know, Joseph, or no? Like at the bottom, I think there's a link.
I believe I've uploaded it, but I don't feel confident enough to say that for certain.
It's like 44 pages.
Yeah. And it's really interesting. It actually talks about Mayor Gable and the Trans-Pacific Timber Company, which was the big mill, or Trans-Pacific Mill, which is right in the center where Buffington Park is, and how all those little houses in Hamlet were built. And, so it's interesting stories about the heritage of our community. So it's cool. Anyway, okay, on to the port. Brett.
Well, lots going down, happening down there. The new cranes are maybe about a week from starting. They're building the foundations and drilling. Well, they're gonna start drilling here in a couple days, but that's for the new cranes and the commission's working on some policy matters that will kind of affect the way that the port functions. There's some things that are still kind of messed up, but things are going good down there. Everybody's happy. Our administrator, Catherine Scobie, couldn't say, she's just fabulous. She's just fabulous human being, and we're lucky to have her. I think that's pretty much, just kind of business.
Great.
Just these big projects are just coming at us, they're just coming at us, and it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yep.
I don't know how many meetings we have, but it seems like I was just here yesterday.
What is the building sitting where Griff's was?
So that's going to be Catherine's temporary office. building.
That's
Oh,
what I figured when I drove by, somebody's temporary office.
Yeah, well, we just pulled the fuel tanks out of the ground there.
Yeah.
And Griff's, of course, they call it a velocity zone, so nothing could be built there now with the way that FEMA has mapped out things, so that couldn't exist there anymore. The office, the office that has been the office is just kind of getting kind of funky, And when they tore Griff's down, there was a handful of rats that lived around there. And they all,
Oh, no.
so Catherine had a mouse go up her leg or something like that and then pretty much said, office building or I walk, and we ordered one. So that's the way that went down, but yeah.
Yeah, I had a citizen ask me, she had heard a rumor that the weather station, because of the new cranes, that the weather station's going to be taken down.
It's been moved.
Oh, good,
So it's
okay.
still there and we still do get that data and it's still, yeah, that relationship with NOAA still exists and it's strong and we still get that information. It's just not really, it doesn't need to be, that's just prime real estate, where it was. So, I think they just moved it maybe 30, do you know where, Tom, did they move it? Not very far. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, good. Okay, moving along. Watershed, I don't really have a report. The last I talked to those guys, they were wanting to work on the bioswale down at Battle Rock Park, so that's good. Fire?
Nothing.
Okay, that's good. So anyway, there we have it. So that's all the reports. We have no old business, so we will move on to new business, 7A, which is the decommissioning of the Emergency Preparedness Committee.
Can I mention one thing I've been forgetting to mention?
Oh, whoops, yeah.
Somehow TLT got dropped off those reports.
Mhm.
And I don't often have stuff, but
Did you
anyway,
this time?
well, just that Susan's going to educate us here on
Good.
what's been going on. So
Yeah.
anyway, somehow it just got dropped off. And if you'd like to add it back, fine. If not, you can just ask me at any time.
Yeah, I forget if we did that as part of that council rule change or if that was just a little,
Pretty sure we did it as the council.
Main Street, we
Okay.
took off.
And that's fine.
yeah, because it comes up at a certain
Yeah,
times a year.
yeah.
Okay,
So, but if anybody has a question, just ask me at any
well,
time.
and we put it on the,
That, just the compliance, updates on compliance are kind of, for us, the situation we're in, what we've seen, if that would be an opportunity to update the council on the level of compliance with, have you guys been able to tackle that?
Well, we just come up with our new ordinance, but it landed
Back on?
in the House at the state level. And then I don't think it ever made it to the Senate. Those changes with percentages and stuff
right,
like that.
yeah, it never
So-
made it out.
They'll take it up next year.
But with your thing about compliance, just asking, since we're talking about it, basically, I've got it on our to-do list. We have,
Right.
from the changes that we made, there's a number of things that have to happen. We've drafted a new form for the people who get the grant. We have a draft of maybe some information that we have to work on with Susan to do a new agreement, like a memorandum of agreement with Main Street Port Orford for how they spend the money that's our responsibility. And there's one other item. Oh, the letter.
All around, yeah.
The letter has to go out to people that are lodgers to let them know that we passed that, and it's going to take effect in January. So there's a whole bunch of pieces to implement and then the compliance. So, but those are all just kind of they're in progress, I would say, in various states of progress.
Yeah, we'll be getting together to do those because those lodging folks have to know, in advance.
Yep.
where
And
they-
Because Airbnb.
we've got a letter drafted. It's just, I think
Hotels,
Melissa will do that.
That
RV parks.
can be used for, staff time for, compliance enforcement or
Not for compliance enforcement, no. Because the TLT are you talking about for our grant project, our grant program? Or
So,
for-
no, my reference is to the lack of follow through. Is, not to insult anybody, but it seems like there hasn't been a component to ensure that follow through of tax money. You know, and like taxes, man, that's a big deal. People die
mean-
over it. People go to war over taxes and stuff.
Well, are you
So I
talking
just-
about the
Rogue-
money?
rogue-
Are you talking about the money that is being spent by Main Street or the money that's spent by our grantees?
The rogue Airbnbs.
Just everybody that gets a
That is-
little bit of money,
No, I think he's talking about the grants.
talking about the
Oh,
grants.
oh,
Yeah, that we're not, you know, the 1-to-1, you know, 50-50 grant thing and
Well, what I did was
gonna be
a
more.
couple of months ago, I went and met with the TLT committee and we talked about trying to increase their role to help us with that. And they were super psyched to do that. And so that, you know, we talked about how we were having trouble with staff time and capacity taking that on. And they are a volunteer group. That's their task and that they could help us with that. And they were super psyched. So we talked about doing some updates to forms and paperwork to make it easier. Like, okay, here's what you have to do. We're going to give you the money. Here's what you have to do. Return this at the end. And then we know you met all these things. So we kind of, we're working on that model.
bring
And
this
if
back.
that doesn't work, then,
Gotcha.
okay. Okay. So moving on to 7A, decommissioning of the Emergency Preparedness Commission. So Gary, why don't I turn it over to you?
So I mentioned it at the last month's meeting, and I kind of laid it out in the packet that we've given it a try, and being a city entity for as small of a group as we have, and the lack of resources, the time it takes to have it be a city meeting as far as the agenda getting posted and an online option and having the scheduling the chambers and by it being a community group that we're calling it the Community Emergency Network, we could meet at Ed's and we could meet multiple times and whenever it works for the group. We'd have kind of a core group and then try to network other groups into it. And so that's kind of where,
Have you thought about, Gary, like, what if you did like a quarterly meeting of the emergency, but then you had that, your citizens group or whatever that informed that group, because otherwise you won't have there just won't be any like authority, or I guess you could come to the council, but then seems like that drops stuff back. Or you guys still have the same goal, right?
and basically it's really just preparedness. So it's educating the community for everybody to have a go bag and to be able to stay in place, shelter in place for 2 weeks, and those type of things. We'll have have table at Ray's with a go bag laid out and handouts of what to put in your go bag and what to be thinking about. And we've got the Facebook emergency response page or group, and we'll keep doing those kind of things. And Dina and I will still be the liaisons to the council, kind of like the watershed. So we could work toward getting a 501(c) and become an entity in that way. And it just feels like the community, the commission actually in the Department of Emergency Preparedness is actually more than just the city by its
Yeah.
declaration. So it seemed like just making it a community group is just everybody kind of went with that feeling. Maybe down the road it would make sense to come back and make it a city group, but right now it seems like we can get a reboot and try to give it another punch to get it going.
I would say there's just from my observations of being at the edge of this at various times too, it seems like you've sort of this commission has experienced some just difficulty because the emergency preparedness realm is very structured with, the county and the state and like there's all these people whose job it is to do these things. And then when you guys show up and say, hey, we want to, it's hard. Whereas if you guys are a citizen group, you can kind of do the things you want to do. You don't have to, or I mean, not that you're not collaborating with those people, but
We can still represent the city and the community with the state and the county. Jeff Hughes, the emergency manager for the county, was at our last meeting, and he said it wouldn't make any difference to him. And we're the only town in the county that has any kind of emergency effort. All of the others are just under the county. So anything we do is icing on the cake for what the county does, which the county department is just Jeff at this time, and he's got very few resources. I think
the door.
the county is
Door.
emergency efforts moving to the sheriff now. And so that he's got some changes going on with that. And we do have a relationship with the Office of Human Resources, I think, for the state. And Sylvia's come over a number of times. So she recognizes us as a group. And nothing is, in the 2 years we've been doing it, there's been not one thing that was a benefit by it being the city department. So.
And I'll just underscore that the Watershed Council went through this same sort of thing and kind of came to that conclusion too. So I think, but I really do want to thank you, Gary, for kind of being the person who's really led this effort and really tried to spearhead it and figure out how to pull this together, because it is hugely important for our community. So I really thank you for all the time and effort you put into it.
I would make a motion to approve resolution 2025-12, decommissioning of the Emergency Prep Commission.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I thought I remembered during budget session that they had a line item. What do we do with that?
I think there's $3,000 or something.
I don't recall the
Yeah.
number.
I think what we can do is, I mean, that was for things like the radios or various things. So if it's in there and there's something, I mean, it may be something that, if we don't use it, we can repurpose it, or there may still be needs that the city has to do those things. Like we have to deal with emergency stuff, or we're trying to get the grant that will be putting tsunami signs on going up the hills.
We did put some signs up
Okay.
I saw those. Those are nice.
recently.
So, I mean, there could be other things, but we can adjust that
And
accordingly.
the emergency group can come to the council and
The
ask.
recommendation.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay, I'll call for the vote. Counselor Rask,
Yes.
Counselor Lovendall,
Yes.
Counselor Webb,
Web, yeah.
Counselor Brennan,
Yes.
Counselor Burns,
Yes.
Counselor Pogwiz.
Tim, yes.
Okay. Again, thank you very much, Gary, for
Thank you
your
all.
work on this. Okay, next we are going to have a review of the annual Main Street TLT advertising expenditure report. And to get to what you were saying, Brett, one of the things when Tim and I went through and revised and presented to you guys the revised language to clarify the TLT ordinance, we realized, hey, these guys are supposed to come and give us a presentation every year. That's not really been happening. It's like Dina has been checking it for us,
It's been a while, yeah, since.
but they haven't come. And so we don't have this in our packet. I don't see, Joseph. Is there a way you can bring it up, or that we're going to try to do? Okay.
And I couldn't get the second link to open. It said
Oh, yeah.
a 404 error or something. So
Okay.
Click it, or did you?
clicked it,
copy paste?
clicked it.
Okay. I'll check on that. Thank you.
I just slipped my mind to even call, or when I called, I spoke to Melissa and forgot to tell her. But anyway, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, so maybe if we could, there's the winter waters, but there's that first sheet too
That's
that we
the
need
one I
to
couldn't
see.
get open, I think.
You know, the one that goes through the numbers. And if that can't be pulled up, maybe we could just even ask Susan, make a copy and ask Susan to. Great. Susan, I'd love to invite you to come up to tell us just. Okay, yeah, or you could just,
Joseph trying,
yeah,
I know how it is to deal with electronic.
right. Well, you can just, why don't you start by telling us, and I will just remind everybody, the context of this is that the city collects TLT funding, and a certain portion of it goes to Port Orford Main Street, which is our city's official tourism promotion entity. And so that's it. And then they spend the money.
2019, when the North Curry Chamber died, I think we were appointed at that time when the Karens were in charge of Main Street. And it's basically advertising in tourism magazines, putting print ads, but we have an amazing resource. Well, actually 3 amazing resources now in Kim Foster and Crystal Figura and Helen Stonehill, all of whom are now working on developed advertising for tourism and events and trying to promote what 20% of this town are directly involved in tourism related activities. Also, we are realizing that people don't go to magazines the way they used to. They go to Google and they Google Port Orford or something, or they get on Facebook and put in Port Orford. And so we've shifted emphasis from almost doing almost exclusive print to bringing in digital advertising. Kim developed the Discover Port Orford webpage. I hope you've been there at some time. And she also has a Discover Port Orford Facebook and Instagram pages that now have over 4,000 followers. I think it was 4,500 people the last count she gave us at the July meeting. And so it's reaching people, and our numbers at the visitor center, which just seemed to segue with everything else that we take over the visitor center to. And the other day we had 78 people in a day. And that's people, you know, they come, they pee, they look at the signs. And they're coming in. When was that, Tim? Was it a little over a year ago that you got me the figure of what was left over in the
I believe
budget?
yeah, about a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And I seem to remember it was, we've been doing this a long time and we get that 1% of this, of what's collected, or 1%
1% of the 7, yes.
Yeah. So, anyhow, we had about $42,000 that hadn't been spent in the past with COVID and people just not being really involved in seeking out places to do it. So, this year we've pared down everything to focusing on Port Orford and areas 50 miles this way and down to the redwoods. We figured we have to have redwoods. But, so we've published now only in Travel Oregon, which puts out a beautiful, slick
Yeah,
magazine.
I brought this because I thought I put the page in the packet, but while you're talking, I'll just
Yeah,
show people
okay.
what it is.
And then there's a Oregon Coast Visitors Association, ACVA, that puts out just the coast. And we thought, man, we need to put more advertising in that because that's our bacon. That just is our area. So anyhow, this year we spent $4,310 on those advertisings. And digital, Facebook charges a fee based on how many people hit the site. I don't understand it exactly, but everybody that hits our site or our advertising, our Discover Port Orford. So we spent $4,849 on that. And oh, there's the number. We currently have 4,900 followers. So that's $1 a person. We also have website fees for the Discover Port Orford, and that was just $212, not much at all. Then some of you may have attended the Winter Waters event that we put on March 1st and 2nd. We had people that are into sustainable seafood and using kelp for to eat, and they came down from Portland, and we spent, yeah, and we had this beautiful he should be a stand-up comedian. He was so funny. He had everybody in stitches.
And I think
Showed
he,
him how to fillet a tuna.
I think he took about an hour to
I know,
talk
well,
about
he
it. It
was
was
on
so
stage.
entertaining. It was really surprisingly entertaining.
It was really good. But we had an art show at the library. We had, an art sales. They had a touch tank. The bookstore did a writing about something Seaward, that you could go into Seawolf and contribute, and she put books on sale. Nikki's had some specials. Coastal Swag had some specials. We were trying to make it a whole town event. And we also asked Logix if they would give a discount, and Tim responded, and Castaway and a few others responded. So, yeah, it was really a successful event, I thought, and very well attended. There were 100 tickets to Mr. Ed's, and they all went away. And then then they had a tour of the port on Sunday, and then went up to Bandon to the Dulce Garden, or whatever you call it. And yeah, that one, fisheries. And so that sold out too. They had 30 people for that. So 6% of the people that came were from Portland. Of those that bought tickets, we're really trying to reach areas that have money. Bring in people that spending $1,000 a weekend is not a big deal to, that sort of thing. So anyhow, so that was very successful. Alana, who was part of that, is now going to be doing another special. She has a site that's promoting seafood and the kelp, and she's came down, took a lot of pictures, and going to do just for $600 for this year, add something to her website. But that was publicized all over the state. She's got a big list of people that are interested. They're foodies. They want to come to the coast and eat coastal food. So there you are. Our map and guide, it has now fallen under this TLT coverage because it goes to tourists that come through. There it is. That's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
And so that was covered. We give one to practically every tourist that comes into the visitor center. We also give one to we would give them out to all the motels and hotels and restaurants that want them, that will hand them out or have them available. We've put in just a little weatherproof holder outside the visitor center door, and there's room for probably 20. And practically every time I go in, I have to refill it because they're all gone. So when the visitor center closed, they're still getting that map and guide and can use it.
Cool.
It advertises all our art studios and restaurants and businesses and a map of town and all. And then we decided that we needed a Discover Port Orford logo sticker that we could give out at the visitor center. And so we bought 500 of those. So our total expenditures was just $45 shy of $15,000 this year. So we still have $27,000 of what we had last year, plus whatever's coming in this year. We haven't even received our funds for this year's TLT yet.
Yeah.
To know what that is.
That's so cool.
And we hope to repeat the winter waters, and now we're talking about some other tourists. We want to turn it into Halloween Town, and they've got a group that's going to make Port Gorford the destination.
Cool.
All right.
Okay, well, any questions does anybody have? I think, oh,
Thank you, Susan. Main Street does a fabulous job, and those programs that bring visitors here in the off season are so important.
Yeah, that's what we're really
You know,
focusing on.
All of our businesses here really struggle in the winter, so thank you.
That's our aim, is to try to get the shoulder season.
Yeah.
And I was really hoping for a King Tide Jazz Festival.
oh, that sounds like a cool idea. I like that. Well, thank you so, so much for all of this work, and please thank your team. It's really cool stuff you guys are doing, and this is a really great report. And we'll be in touch on figuring out that new agreement that will, yeah. Yeah.
My request for the TLT grant to cover the murals,
Yes.
and have those checks been written yet? Because we haven't got.
You know, we changed the formula this year where you're not going to get the check until you put forward, until you get, you can get it dispersed like after you pay it. So, or you can put in an invoice, like if you have an invoice for Darren for the amount, because what we were finding is that we were just giving people checks and then we didn't have any accountability. And so what we would like to do is, if you have the money, since we know you do, or well, maybe you don't because it's in our bank account. If you can, okay, well then just bring your receipt in and you'll be able to get it. And we're still working on the new form for that, but you should be able to bring your receipt in and get that money. Yeah, that's great that that project is done too. Thank you. Okay. Well, then moving on, the next topic is C, is these letters of support that I drafted just kind of quickly. And this gets to two topics. I mean, as I mentioned, literally that have just come up, and I'm going to overview them for you quickly. I'd heard about the closure of the ODOT facility, and some of our firefighters and EMS people reached out to say they're very concerned about the ODOT facility closing because it means we're losing we're losing 2 of our 4 positions there. And that means, and so I reached out and talked to the ODOT guy, and he said, yeah, that's what's going to happen. And they're going to have to probably redeploy those people to report down at Hunter Creek. And they're still trying to figure out if they're going to be able to keep some equipment up here or if they want to keep it down there. But basically what it means is if something happens either between Gold Beach and here, they're going to have to it's going to be a delay, or if something happens north of here, there's going to be a delay in response likely. The good news is the gas, which I think the city is going to stay open, or that part of things is going to be open.
That's what they told me, that we
Okay.
still have access with the cars, so.
Yeah, so that's good. But anyway, it's still in motion, and the people that reached out to me, that, as I said, some EMS or firefighter said it could be helpful to advocate for this now, and which I agree. And it's, I put dear decision maker on the top because I'm not exactly sure who this goes to. I think it goes to our governor, our state senator, our state rep, and also to the ODOT director, just to tell everybody, hey, Port Orford cares about its ODOT station, and we really value it here because, I saw a news report about how the ODOT station is going to be closed over in a snowy area, and they're saying like over near like Medford and how bad that's going to be. But we have the same thing. This road is our lifeline, which I
Doesn't make
highlighted.
any sense.
the
I
letter.
mean, the worst part of the road is between here and Gold Beach.
Right.
It just doesn't make, I mean, it makes you wonder what criteria they're using to determine which
Yeah.
stations are gonna close. It's just,
And-
Sounds like they just aren't. They don't have that money to go.
right, but I mean, beach, up over Sebastian, it gets a little slide here and there, but maybe it's closer to the border. Is there
Well,
another
I guess
one down there?
the way it works, he described to me, is the Port Orford station takes care of from about here north to the south end of Bandon down to in between here and
Or something.
yeah. And then the station in Hunter Creek takes it from there, kind of south of the road down to the border.
Yeah.
So basically the next facility north from us is Coos Bay. So like if there's something and there's a slide between here and Gold Beach, yeah, they can tap the people from Coos Bay, but then that's a much longer.
This is,
Drive
this
to.
doesn't pencil out. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been thinking, just,
Yeah, well, it's still in progress. So my question for you guys is I drafted this based on what I know and was, I basically just want your okay to be able to send this on our behalf as a council. I mean, I could send it as a mayor, but I thought if I send it as a council, it could be stronger.
if,
And your input too, if anybody wants to.
well, they're not gonna sell the facility.
No, and it's going to be mothballed. If you've read the politics of it, there may be a special session where they go back and they try to.
Right, and
Do
they
something.
might, I just like, if they're just gonna send our people down there so that they can save what? I mean, none of it makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna sell this facility, this piece. The equipment now has to travel farther, or what? I mean, it doesn't make sense to close a yard and keep the same people and travel further. And, I don't even know.
Yeah.
That's why I wish I knew what the thinking was, that
Yeah, I don't really, he described to me that they're still sorting out how they're going to manage with fewer
Well, see,
people.
so that's what I'm suggesting, maybe we present to them our understanding of the situation, because we're here and they're there.
Mhm.
And how it's gonna cost them more money, and like, I don't see the cost savings. I guess that's what,
Mhm. Yeah, but we're not privy to how I would imagine the guy who manages it knows.
well, with the guy in Salem knows.
No,
what-
the guy who's in Coquille, who's
Yeah, right.
managing he's the area manager of here, so.
Asset in the yard for emergency nemesis.
Mhm.
Having those that know how getting roads back together.
Yeah, right.
If you just,
I mean, I haven't talked to Hank about this, but these guys are first responders oftentimes, aren't they?
Yeah, and I don't know if you got that email I sent you, Hank, asking if you had any input on this letter. But if you have any.
I haven't seen your email, but I actually had some correspondence with the fellow you were talking about today.
Uh-huh.
I'd sent him something yesterday. All the fire entities around us have banded together to do something as a group.
Yeah.
So I chose to separate myself from the group, although I'm keeping them informed. I sent something to him yesterday and I already got a reply back today. I'll forward it to you when I'm done. It was very politically correct. But it looks like 12 entities in the state right now are slated to be closed. We're one of them.
Yeah.
Clearly, my point was we're a bit of a unique island here during the winter storms in the fall and the winter especially. So we get cut off, it affects us locally, it affects commerce, it affects anybody trying to travel to for any reason.
Yeah.
And there's always instances of near closures because of the weather here, and sometimes obviously closures. So I'll forward you all.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
That was my point. I mean, the fire perspective was a little different than mine, but
there's major rivers on each side of us, between us and those stations. I mean, there's
Yeah.
just,
I don't think there's anywhere else in the state of Oregon that has the highway itself disappear like we do.
yeah,
Right,
no.
drops out.
And we have
Certainly
nothing,
they have
we
snowstorms
have
and
nothing going east either. I mean, we're
No.
like.
when that goes
that's
away,
Like there's these things that
when it's that bad in the winter, you can't just like drive around Elk River and pop out at Agnes because that road's washed out too. So we're here. So that was my point.
And so, and then also to that point, we have this airport that we're talking about being our saving grace in a Cascadia event. And the port is identified as a landing beach. And I just like, in aggregate, we put it all together. It's a terrible decision.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. I don't know if there's a way I mean, I don't know if it's nasty enough, Your Honor.
My letter,
You
well,
know?
no, I'm not a nasty, it's hard for me to write a nasty letter. You want to add some nastier language in there? Or the other thing you can do is you can make a phone call too. I mean, I was thinking, I was just trying to throw something
And
together.
I'm not critiquing your thing. I just.
No. No, maybe you're right. I'm just,
This is really good, but maybe a
giving me
couple of Hank's
ideas.
comments like
Yeah.
no exits east for us, which there are none.
Mhm.
Two rivers, that we have troubles with. I mean, when 4 Mile floods, are they
They're
going to
supposed to
send,
fix
they're going to
that,
send somebody from Gold Beach to set up cones and the safety stuff that,
Yeah.
On this side of it, right. But they did, so Tim, they are set.
Well, that's
to-
it.
that's
The
a huge
ambulance,
component.
that's
they're
the
set to
public.
work on
I
that.
mentioned
Yeah.
that in my
Pardon me?
memo
They're
too.
set to fix that.
That's a
This-
Oh,
That's a
right,
multi-time
that's right,
daily.
you're
Shut the
right.
highway
Yeah.
down, yeah.
Okay, so
But yeah,
if Hank sends me his input and I add it in,
Yep.
any other major things, you guys okay if I
I
pull it
would, I would
together and send
mention
it?
that just the emergency response,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
that's-
Yeah.
the airport that,
Uh-huh.
like, it's a critical little link between South County and North County. Yeah, but people don't go like Humbug Mountain is this weird thing. And we've learned that through community outreach before. It's nobody, if you live above Humbug, you don't go south. And if you live below it, you don't go north. It's
Right.
just this
It's
thing.
its own thing,
And
that
You
can.
could be stuck.
I just keep thinking, yeah, right. What do we do? Okay, all right. I'm good. It just still blows me away that.
Yeah, you could be stuck on the other side for sure.
But see, what the thing is, can't they just, if they're gonna take staff and move them down there and they're not gonna close the building or sell off the assets, then what are they gaining as just,
Yeah, well, I think it's like they're hoping still that they're going to come back
Oh, I
and do
see.
some budget,
I see.
so I mean,
maybe that's what'll happen.
that's what I think where we're trying to put up our hand in this process that's going to happen and say to the governor and to our state senators and rep, we really need you guys to go back and figure this out because this means this is not a political football. This is like our community is really going to have consequences. So that's, I think, what, we have to get across.
Send the letters.
Okay,
I think we
so
can do
that's
by
that one.
Consensus.
Do
yeah.
we have data on like, is this the most closed section? It would be really cool to throw their numbers at them. I'm sure ODOT has those numbers.
Yeah.
It would be great to use that's something I've learned from Tom, is use whoever you're working with, you use their numbers
Yeah.
and they can't, that way they can't dispute it.
Yeah.
They agree with you more often.
Probably have to place to find out how many transports they do,
Uh-huh.
especially in the winter time, because you know how many times there's trees across that road that you're not going north.
Right.
Slide in Humbug. I just think,
Yeah.
The county had gotten a grant for having a group come in for emergency evacuation plan. And we just met last week and there's just so many islands cut off between Sixes and Elk.
yeah.
Elk to down to Humbug and, yeah, for emergency, and there's nothing to the east.
Yeah.
And even using the ocean, I guess, rocks, I don't know, I'm not really familiar with the topography of out in the water, out from Battle Rock, whether they'd be able to do landings.
Well, so that
Port.
it is, the port is identified as an emergency landing site for the Navy or whoever. We just spoke about, we had a discussion about that the other night. But I mean, what are you gonna pull up in there? But really, no, you pull it up in there and then it can go either way. So all the other harbors in Oregon are at sea level. So when the big one hits, then there's gonna be so much debris and stuff in those waterways for a long time, months. And since this is open ocean, that's not going to be the case here. So there is that.
The topic
benefit to it.
rotary would be the main way of moving things.
What?
Helicopters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Well, so it sounds like we have consensus on that letter. The second letter is also the bad news that I got, that the OSU field station is also slated to be mothballed or closed. And that's owing to deep budget cuts and the federal budget cuts that change the indirect costs that universities get has been significantly cut back, and our facility is part of the Hatfield Marine Science Center, and so they're having serious cutbacks. And so anyway, I feel like the field station is a really important part of our community. And so I tried to highlight here those important roles and identified that this body, the Port Orford City Council, since 2007, did adopt a resolution to support the field station. That was even before it was an OSU field station. But anyway, I just thought it was another case where we should get ourselves on record saying, wait a second, this is really important for our community. So, and I did talk to the new director at the Hatfield Marine Science Center, and she wanted to come to this meeting and couldn't make it. So I said, well, come down to the next meeting and tell us what's going on. So she will be, that's Dr. Lisa Balance. She said she would come next time. So anyway,
So
that's,
that building can be sold, right? So there's gonna be something happening there, but I mean,
it's another case where I think they're going to try to mothball it here for a while and see what happens. And,
well, yeah, I think it'll be open, won't it? Tom, you can,
well,
There's a
Tom,
lot
do you
of
want to,
doors
here,
on it.
we'll let you, Tom, do you want to say a few words now, or do you want to come up and say a
Oh, I
few words
forgot
about
he
this?
does.
Thank you, Hank.
Yeah, thank you.
thanks, Hank.
Since Brett has asked you a question, if you want to, you can just say a few words now, but then I would like to wrap this up rather than kind of making it, because we're going to have an actual presentation about this next time. But if you have a few, do you want to just wait, or do you want to add to this now? Okay. So did you? Okay. Why don't you answer the question?
It's probably not going to be a satisfactory answer, but because I have limited information. But what was the question again?
Is it going to be open?
I mean, it can't be sold, so it stays, ownership remains with OSU, right? And then is your kelp project gonna be in the building, or is there, other?
I'm to be determined.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Okay. Yeah.
And I do have some remarks, but I'll save them for citizen
Okay.
concerns.
Yeah. Okay. So the question is just okay for me to send these letters. Okay, good. Yeah, it just seemed like an important moment. It just feels like, my gosh, these are like really big things that are going to impact our town. It's like at least 4 jobs and just all the services in our community. And
The building at the port was largely it's huge. This is like even bigger than you might think. It's just this huge thing.
Yeah.
I'll just save it.
And keep it in mind that, if you have questions or comments to Brett, that they're going to come, I think, next month. So maybe keep that in the back of your mind. If there's things that we want to ask or suggest, we'll have the chance at that time. Okay, so moving on then, we finish new business and we will then move on to considerations. So citizen considerations. Tom Calvanese, we know you have a citizen consideration, so this is the time to please step up. So there you go, make your comments.
It was the time all along.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep this brief and I'll let you all know that there's probably going to be more discussion on this matter. But for now, I'll just say first, thank you for an opportunity to speak today. As I just said, I'm Tom Calvanese. I live at 630 Tichenor Street here in Port Orford, and I've had the privilege of managing the OSU Port Orford Field Station for the past decade. First, I want to thank you all for your strong letter of support. Thank you for that. Your advocacy means a lot, and it reflects the incredible partnership that we've built with the city over these years. I regret to inform you that OSU has made the difficult decision to severely curtail activities at the field station due to federal budget cuts. The field station manager position, which I currently hold, will end on September 21st, along with our station operations assistant. It's disheartening to see this community asset, something that we've all worked so hard to build together, come to this. Over the past decade, we've accomplished a lot, from supporting our local fishing fleet and filling scuba tanks for divers, hosting summer students and year-round researchers, building partnerships with the Redfish Rocks community team, Surfrider Foundation, the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, and many others. This station has become woven into the fabric of our community. Right now, we're operating at full capacity with multiple research projects underway, and our focus is the safe execution of our current activities. We're often out in the field right now, but if anyone wants to learn more about our work or discuss this situation, please feel free to reach out to me directly or stop by the field station while we're there, and we're there a lot. I'll just say that I'm grateful for these 15 years here in Port Orford and for the trust that you've all placed in me to steward this important resource. And while this chapter is ending, I hope the relationships and the knowledge we've built together will continue to benefit our community and our ocean. And thank you for your support and for making all of this work possible. And I'll close by letting you know I'm not going anywhere. I have much more work to do.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you so much, Tom. And really, thank you so much for being the person who has put so much of your heart and soul into creating what this field station is. We literally would not have it without you. And so it kind of really bums me out that this is happening, but we'll try to support a good solution. So thank you.
Me too. I'll leave you with this thought. What we've built is not a building, it's a community. And I like to call it an ocean-aware community, and I tell everyone that. And I think it's true, and it's going to continue to be true no matter what happens in or outside of that building. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any other citizen considerations? Anyone in the room? Anyone online?
I'm not seeing any comments or any raised hands.
Okay, seeing none, do we have any further staff considerations, John or Hank? No? Okay, and then any further considerations from the counselors? Yes, Counselor Paz?
I would like to give a big thank you to the Jubilee Committee. They pulled it off again and seemed like everybody enjoyed the show. So thank you very much.
I would really like to echo that. I didn't get to be here this year, but I heard very good things about it. So thank you so much, Jen, if you're here, and the team, the Jubilee team.
They usually come in and give us a report after the Jubilee, don't they?
You're welcome.
Oh, good. She's there. Thank you, Jen.
I'm actually not here to give an official report, and I didn't intend to say anything, but I did want to thank you all for your support. As you all know, this has been my last year, but I'm still a supporter. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jen. Any other considerations from counselors? No? And anything from the mayor? No. I'm just going to leave it at that. We've had I'll just say we had a really busy couple of meetings in the past, and so this one's a little short, and that's good. So anyway, with that, we'll just look to the future meeting, and I do want to point out, I think on this agenda, the date is incorrect. It should be August 21st is our next meeting. Thursday, August 21st, but we're going to have that special session, as we discussed earlier, on July 31st to approve the minutes. And if anything else of an emergent detail comes up, we can do that. Okay. Is there anyone, I think it looks like John popped up. Did you want to say something, John? No.
No, I was just tuning in to see what's going on.
Okay, great. Well, good to see you here. And thanks to John, has been a great volunteer with the community building effort. That was in my report, but we didn't highlight it. Okay. Well, with that, I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 6:50. Woohoo!